Hello, 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 and welcome back to the Cryptic Commander. Today I'm your host Luna, and we'd appreciate if you go check us out over on Facebook, here on YouTube, and then over at anywhere you can listen to podcasts. Check out the free Cryptic Commander podcast. It's an easy listen on the ears podcast. That we talk about the thing that we enjoy most of all, or at least I enjoy most of all, Magic the Gathering. Also, go ahead and go check out our subsidiary group on the Magic the Gathering player group. Check us out at our Patreon as well. And then today, we're going to be doing an Arena Cube draft. If you liked what you've been watching, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We'd really appreciate it if you hit that bell to get the notification every time we upload new videos. You'll be able to be the first to see it. And go ahead and hit that like button, and then comment down below what kind of videos you'd like to see in the future. We're going to go ahead and jump into an Arena Cube draft. Last time we didn't do so hot. We went with Abzan's approach. This time, let's see what we're going to go into. Again, you can check us out over at Facebook at the Cryptic Commander, here on YouTube, and then anywhere you can listen to podcasts for the Cryptic Commander podcast. Check us out on Patreon. We'd really appreciate your support. And then over at our subsidiary group at the Magic the Gathering player group. Anything you're interested in Magic, they have it over there. Alright, so now we're waiting for the table to get ready. That's the deal. Let's see what we get jumping into. I know I spoke on this earlier, but truly draft is my favorite format. The fact that it's fair, everybody's on an even playing field, and you just gotta crack up some packs, take a few picks, and go ahead and build a deck. There's no pre-constructed deck, people didn't spend a bunch of money, you didn't spend a little bit of money, or vice versa, and things are going okay. So what I'm looking here is we got some counters going on with Jadelight Ranger and Verger's Gearhulk. We also have Basri Cat. Then there is elves. I do like the Met Godzilla because it's not putting us in a counter. It's not putting us in a color yet, but it also is a pretty good 3-drop. Last time we saw that a lot of green was taken pretty early, so I'm feeling confident in the Mecha Godzilla for the simple fact that it's not sticking us in a color, but it's a solid 3-drop. Okay, from here. Obosh, I don't feel confident building this with the as a companion. I do like the fact you can exile things. These two, we would be forced to go in both those colors. We'd be dedicated. Midnight Reaper is a good draw, but honestly, I'm a big fan of exiling things out. So I think I'm gonna go with Angel of Sanctions. I'm just going to go with Angel of Sanctions. Go from there. Okay, so now we have Basri's Lieutenant. We can go with the counter strategy. Also, protection from multicolors, which is really useful. Birth of Meliodas. It's an okay saga. There's something for a creature in 2-drop that goes into counters. So honestly, if we're going to stick with our colors, I would like to do either the Fearless, the Fledging, or Basri's Lieutenant. But part of me kind of wants to go the Geist. We do have a flyer. We could try Azorius Flyers and see what happens there. A safe pick would probably be Basri's Lieutenant. But I'm going to go ahead and try out the Flyers. See what happens. Alright, so for this pick, it's between 3 cards, but for me it's between 2. So either Adanto's Vanguard, because it's a good attacker, but you do have to pay life for its indestructible. It will be attacking. Banishing Light is solid removal. There's also History of Benelia. It's 2 creatures for 3 mana, so essentially 4 power, 4 toughness, 3 mana. It's a solid card. So it's either we want to go with the removal or history, and honestly, I'm thinking history, but we haven't seen much removal yet. We do have Angel of Sanctions as removal. If that does get removed, that is an issue. Same with Banishing Light. Honestly, so between Banishing Light and History of Benelia, I'm going to go ahead and click this to have the pick saved, but I'm stuck in between this because this will add some creatures. We already grabbed Dungeon Geist. We have 3 creatures going in, so I think removal is the most important thing. Okay, so yeah, we're definitely going to snap pick this Angel. And we're not stuck in a dungeon geist yet, so blue, we don't have to go in that direction, but right now we're definitely heavy leaning white. So far we have 2 ways of removal. We are going to have to figure out some life gain for this, but it can do life gain on its own. The simple fact that if we have the 5 mana, we can pump into it. What I'm seeing here is I'm probably going to grab the Exclusion Mage. I'm a fan of bouncing, but then there's also Helm of the Host. At the beginning of combat on your turn, create a token that's a copy of equipped creature, except that token isn't legendary if equipped creature is legendary. The token gain is. My only concern is it's 9 mana for 1 token. I personally would just prefer to bounce something. Alright, so yeah, I think we're definitely going to go and do Azorius. So this is a Spells Matters card. We got some removal. This is best of one, so that might be important, but this is also returning up to 3 artifacts or creatures. It gets us a free spell. We don't have any 2-drops yet, so actually, weirdly enough, it might be important to pick that up. Part of me wants to grab this just in case we're little more of a controlling route. But I think I'm probably going to go with Brawl's Expertise or Seasoned Hollowblade. Seasoned Hollowblade is a 2-drop that can gain Indestructible. It is a 3/1, which is a little iffy, but it also can gain Indestructible even if it's tapped. So there is that. And Brawl's Expertise does bounce 3 things, but it costs 5, and we need a 2-drop right now. Okay, so we're definitely going to grab our 1-drop. The fact that it can gain Flying is going to go synergistic with what our deck's doing. Coming back around, we don't have removal. Well, we have 2 removal pieces. I would like a 3rd. We also get Graveyard Recursion, but there's Basri Ket. And we got some small creatures, and even later on, it can go in the counter strategy. So I want to pick a card here. It's either Elspeth Conquers Death as removal, but I think the best bet is to go with Basri. Because if we're going to go a little more in the Azorius Flyers route, we're going to have some small creatures. Okay, here, yeah, let's just grab Curious Obsession. Since it's staying in our colors. Alright. So we definitely need some creatures on the lower end. If not, some cantrips or some removal. Which when you're drafting, it's important to think about bread, which I always forget what the D stands for, but I think it's bombs. Yeah, bread. Bombs, removal, evasion. Yeah, we're just gonna go with the Birth of Meliodas. So you know what? Let me go ahead and look that up. What does bread stand for? Because I want to be accurate when I say this. Alright, well, white is wide open right now. Blue is not really that open, but white definitely is. Bombs removal, evasion, and I'm trying to remember the rest of it. Alright, pack 2. So for me, we're definitely an aggro deck, so I don't think I want to go with Wrath of God. It would be a good card to go there. So I think Champion of Wits kind of is our best bet after that Ashiok. I would like Wrath if we were more of a control deck, but unfortunately we're definitely an aggro deck, so I want Champion Wits. Gives us some card draw. Alright. So I'm go ahead, just to double check, I'm looking up bread right now. Yeah, so bombs, removal, evasion, aggro, and dud. That's essentially the rest. Okay, so here, Figureon's Warden I would like. We could grab another flyer. Actually, a few flyers up. There's more removal. Also can give our creature indestructible. As far as everything, there's a lot of flyers. I don't really want to go with the 5-drop. This does give a way to give a removal, and it gives 2 bodies. It's only a 1/1 for 3, but it does have 2 bodies, and it has removal. This is removal as well in a creature, but the creature can come back if it dies, so it's a little more restrictive. Warkite Marauder makes something small and we can get through. Surveilling is good, but honestly, I think this is probably the best direction to go. And the next direction I would probably take is Fairgrounds Warden, but the fact that it can be a permanent exile and not an exile until something returns is probably the best bet. I think my next pick would be Warkite Marauder to make things smaller. There's also Valorous Stance, but yeah, we're going to take that. So this is going to work if we went the counter strategy, the fact that it has proliferate, but it is a flyer, so we're going to hold on to that. The Folio of Fancies, I'm a big fan of drawing cards when I need to, but I don't know about this. I think I want to stick with the flyer strategy, honestly. There's nothing else that I'd really take. Maybe the peasant, the shepherd of the flock, human peasant, maybe that. To flicker something of our own, but I honestly want to go in the Grateful Apparition. We do have Basri, a way to give some things counters. Alright, so for here, it's between 3 things for me, really. So Thirst for Meaning for draw, Search for Ascanta, but we're not a controlled deck or a mid-range deck. We're definitely an aggro deck. And then the Diplomat. So whenever an opponent attacks with creatures, if 2 or more of those creatures are attacking you and or a planeswalker you control, draw a card. Whenever an opponent casts their second spell, you turn draw a card. So the fact that this has a pretty good body on it and it's card draw, it's just a card engine, essentially. I would like to go with that. Well, as long as our opponent has an aggro deck. So this, weirdly enough, we might be taking that. Or, I guess, so creatures you control get indestructible if you cast during your main phase. Put a 1/1 counter each of those creatures that gain vigilance. So that can go in with some of our counters, but not a counter deck. I do like this a lot. Whenever a creature deals combat damage, you draw a card, it gains lifelink, it gets +1/+1. So it's card draw, buffs things up, and we already have a lot of flyers going on. So it's either a Catcher's Monument, or I'm going to save this right now. I think that's the direction I want to go, but a Catcher's Monument just makes things so much cheaper whenever you cast a creature spell. So it's not creature dependent on white. But yeah, we're just going to end up taking the Staggering Insight. A little more time, I would think that through. So protecting our creatures, we don't have any counter spells or another just creature on the ground that can do some damage. So as far as creatures on the ground that can do damage, we're pretty good. I think I want to either grab the creature, just saving our creature of ours, or a counter spell, but we could always go extreme aggro. Because we got a solid 2-drops. Yeah, let's go Dive Down, just to save our creature. Alright, so I think, honestly, I want to go with the Marshal. We are 2 colors, but we're mainly white. We're kind of splashing into blue. So either grab Elspeth's Nightmare, Elspeth's Son's Nemesis. I don't know why I said Elspeth's Nightmare. That is a black card. But so I'm going to hold on to the Vanillish Marshal. The only reason is we are mainly white. We are splashing into blue, essentially. And then Elspeth does create tokens, and it can give a buff. It also has a way to come back, but I think that was the best bet. Any card here, I guess whenever a creature you control does combat damage to a player, you may draw a card. That'd be useful. There's also, at the beginning of your end step, each opponent loses life equal to the number of tapped creatures you control. Honestly, I think I'm going with the Throne of the God Pharaoh, since we're going to be in more of an aggro deck. We might not play this card, but I don't think this is going to be useful for us either. It would be card draw, but we do have a lot of flyers, but I'm just going in that direction. So I'm taking Ashiok, or no, actually Middle Land is probably the best. Ashiok does mill things, it stops searching, but we do need the dual land. As far as here, it's either removal spell or the Warkite Marauder. We have a lot of creatures, so I'm actually going to go with the removal spell. It is bigger, though. It only deals with big creatures. So actually, I'm going to go with Warkite Marauder. This can give something indestructible, which it saves our creature. But yeah, let's go with the more Warkite Marauder as our flyer. Nothing here is really useful for us, so let's go ahead and just grab Karn's Bastion. So land, in case we can go on the counter strategy. So we can't take Integrity. We wouldn't be able to cast Intervention, but I guess it's the only usable card for us. Here, Bowmat Courier kind of goes by the wayside since we don't have the red available. So yeah, we're going to go ahead with this. Anointed Procession. Let's see if we can figure out a way to make tokens, but I doubt it. And then Escape the Wild. So let's see what our last pack holds. Alright, so this card, enters the battlefield with X1 counters on it, put a counter on it, remove a counter, put a counter on each other creature you control. So I really like that card. There's also a solid flyer and Aerial Responder, but I think Aerial Responder will come back around. I don't think I'm going to see this card. Yeah, I definitely want to go more into the blue-white flyer since from the beginning. So probably going to take the Pteramander. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. Each creature? That's nice. There's the counter spell, though. We do have a lot of creatures. The counter spell could be very versatile. I think it might be necessary. I want to go into the Azorius Flyers route, but I honestly think the counter spell is just necessary. I would love to grab this, but we're not really going to have instants and sorceries to make it cheaper. Commit to Memory is another good one, but I think Neutralize is just a good pick here. I would love to get Scarab God and maybe just splash black. Honestly, I'm thinking I'm just going to grab Scarab God. The next best pick to me is the Felidar Retreat. Now, splashing black might be hurtful, but I think we can do it and it would be fine. And this is just a card that can win you the game. It is what I would consider a bomb. It's also Pact Negation, but you can lose. Yeah, honestly, I think I'm just splashing into black for Scarab God. Gonna play it off with what? Why can't I think of this combination right now? Esper. Yes, we're gonna go into Esper. So yeah, we're definitely grabbing Lyra. We have what, one, maybe two other angels. So we have a way to kill something, draw cards. Doom Foretold, I don't really like going with us doing that. Way to remove some stuff, but I think our best bet is either the Illumination, the fact that you can just cycle it for 1 and get the card draw, or 4. There's also Swift Response, which is good removal to destroy tapped creature, so you can do it in response to attackers being declared. Destroy all non-land permanents. I'm not a big fan of that. Gain life, draw cards. I think I'm just going to go with the Sphinx's Tutelage, but there is the land that's very useful. But gaining life and drawing cards is amazing. We don't have much dual lands. Definitely not going to play the Escaped. Yeah, I just got to go the Sphinx Rev. Alright, so I think we take the cat. Yeah, since it's just in our colors. Or, yeah, let's just take the cat. So we're either going to go with Thalia or we're going to go with the Nimble Obstructionist just because it has flying but also has flash. This would make things more expensive for our opponent to cast things, but we're more of an aggro deck, really. We do have some spells, but yeah, let's, actually click the wrong card. That happens. Okay, so that wheel like I thought it was going to wheel. There also is Isolated Chapel, but I think the Aerial Responder is the better bet. Here, yeah, we're going to go ahead and grab Pteramander. Alright, so we're not going to play Karn's Bastion. Everything else is looking like we're going to play, but we definitely have a lot of cuts to make. Alright, so Fragmentize, I think I'm going to put that in the sideboard. We are doing best of 1, so I think it'll be okay. I guess the best thing to do is take Pact. Part of me is really surprised it's still here. We are splashing into black, and Thief of Sanity is an insane card. I guess Doom Foretold is the only thing we might play. I doubt we'll play any of those cards. So, honestly, yeah, let's put that in the here. So then we're just going to put that in the sideboard since we're not going to even play it. We might not actually even be splashing a black as much as I want Scarab God. I don't know if we're going to actually play it. I want to go just like straight Azorius Flyers, and I think that's the route I'm going to go into. So I'm going to go ahead and clear out the board. Okay. So first I want to grab all my removal. Alright, so I'm going to count the counter spells removal. This is bouncing. Let's count it. And then this also ices things down. I'm going to go with it. We have Banshee Light. There's also this removal for creature, and then removal. I think that was about it with our removal package. So we have 7 sources of removal. I would like to stick with the flyer route. When are mainly white. So yeah, let's go ahead with the flyers for now and then figure it out from there. I don't think it's useful to splash the black, but the fact that this can have flying is very useful. Let's go Staggering Insight. I definitely want Sphinx as a rev. Okay, so I don't want to say I'm building this deck wrong, but part of me feels like I might be building this deck wrong. Because we have the flyers going on so far, but we do need some ground game. I would like to have a second 1-drop. The cat can come back, but also the Sky March Aspirant can gain flying. We have the City's Blessing, and it's also 2/1 solid. We only need 1 to 2 1-drops realistically. Bastard Cat's probably one of our best cards to grab. We do have card draw, which is probably useful. And we also have the Crazy Obsession, which my instinct is that's going to get through every time. This is to make things bigger. We can have card draw sitting out. I don't know if we want to splash black or not. Scarab God is amazing. We have 5 cards left to grab. So what cards do I want to grab for those 5? I think what would be good is to grab another 1-drop, which we did with Curious Obsession. So we have a lot of creatures going on, but I think the Benelish Marshal might go in. The issue is we're a little more blue than I expected. So it would be difficult to get it all. You know what? I think I'm grabbing the 2 sources of card draw, and then a way to make creatures bigger. I'm throwing at the God Pharaoh might be useful. The simple fact that we are going to be tapping down a lot of our creatures, and since we are flyers, we're going to be getting in the air a lot. I'm going to put 2 more cards in this deck, so I got to think this through. Thalia is good. We aren't going to be playing a lot of non-creature spells. We do have some, which the more I'm looking through, we actually have a lot more than I thought. So that might not be helpful for us. We don't know what our opponent's going to be playing. There is a way to protect our creatures, which it might actually be important to do that. So, and then okay, so I might have misclicked in the draft. I thought I grabbed a card that can blow up creatures, but no, oh yeah, I took the Warkite Marauder over that. So, as far as, I think Scarab God is just the way to go. Just splash into black. They're just a solid card that can win us the game. It wins the game on its own, essentially. So, do I want to splash into black, or do I want to try grabbing some cards over here? Because, honestly, yeah, the dive down is important. We just have 1 card left to grab, and I'm thinking it's Scarab God. Everything else I'm looking at it's mediocre in comparison. Yeah, I'm just splashing black for Scarab God. And then do I want to splash in for Thief of Sanity? I don't think I want to. I don't know what I would cut for it, but I think it's fine just to have the one black card. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and put the temple in. Wait, Throne of the God Pharaoh, is that going to be necessary? No, I'm not going to do that. Okay, so we definitely need only 2 black sources. No, we need 3. I forgot which one that is. Whenever you're splashing, you want minimum of 3. And then usually how I do to figure out my mana base is I want to count up the mana symbols and divide it in half. That gives me a solid number of knowing how much I have. So I need to cut 1. I want to keep 3 just for the Scarab God. And the reason I'm not keeping 2 instead I would like 3 is just you never quite know what you're going to draw. The deck is all variant. We have 40 cards and there's only 3 out of 40. The odds of grabbing it are far greater than there were 2 out of 40. Temple of Lightment counts for a plains and island. So I'm going to go ahead and count this out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So we need 7, which that provides the 7 right there. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So I'm just going to bump it up. We need like 10 sources. And the more I'm looking at this, I think Scarab God's then the wrong choice. If we need that much, I might have to actually just go down 1 swamp. Because we would need 10 sources of white, and we don't have that. If we were to cut this, we have 8. If we were to cut all 3 of the black sources, we will add it into the 2 plains and the 1 island. We already have the exact number for islands that we need. So honestly, I don't want to cut the 1 swamp, but I think I have to. The fact that we're only running 8 white sources, and we need 10 for the deck to be cohesive. But I think I'm going to run it like this. I want to keep Scarab God. I at least want to try it out. If we play this next game and it doesn't work out with Scarab God, I got to pull it. But if it does work out, where the mana is fine and we're not hurt for it, or we're not holding it as Scarab God, or a swamp is hurting us, I'm going to go with it. But if something happens in this game, I want to go back to the drawing board, cut Scarab God, and add in a card. It'll probably be the Lord, a creature Lord. I think that would be the right route to go. Okay, so while we wait for Arena to load, I'm going to go ahead and back to reading what that bread is. I'm sorry. So, Bomb, which is the B. A bomb is a card with significant power, with some clarity, with some certainty, would win you the game. So essentially a card that can win you the game on its own, like the Scarab God. R for removal, which is a removal is a card which removes a threat, such as a powerful permanent controlled by opponent. So exiling things, destroying things, bouncing things, removal. Then there's evasion. A card is considered an evasion pick if it has a chance of getting past natural defenses by your opponent. Examples including spells that can't be countered, creatures with ability like flying, protection that prohibits from being blocked or trample. Then we have aggro, which is just pretty much cards that are being very aggressive, being very quick, strategy, and then a dud, just everything else. All right, and looking at our hand, we have 2 blue sources. We don't have a white source, which makes it very difficult since we have 3 white cards in our hand. We do have Mecha Godzilla, but I can't keep this. It's 2 blue sources. We can guarantee play 1. We need double white for 2 of our cards, so we can't keep it. Did I click keep? Did I say I can't keep and then kind of messed up in my head? I think I did. So this was a mistake, and I accidentally clicked it. So we're definitely going to be playing at a disadvantage already, because next turn we play Marauder, and then we're going to be playing the Mech Godzilla, which I unfortunately made that mistake. I meant to hit Mulligan. Yeah, actually, I'm going to go ahead and play the white source, since we might be able to get the Resplendent Angel out. But I'm going to play Warkite Marauder for now. Next turn, realistically, we're going to play the Mech Godzilla. But I hope we can grab planes to be able to play Resplendent next turn. So we're playing up against Rakdos, which we're going to see a lot of removal, essentially. We already got hit with some burn. There is Vishino Pyromancer. If Vishino comes in, we're just going to take it. Unfortunately, we are at the disadvantage of taking damage, but we're not at 10 life yet, so everything's okay. Alright, so they're probably a black-red Rakdos Sacrifice deck. I'm seeing Blood Artist there. So next turn, going to play Mech Godzilla. Not going to block, we're going to take it, unfortunately. Going to go ahead and play an island and play the Mech Godzilla, but we see planes. Okay, so that's unfortunate because we're going to lose another life. Okay, so we see the planes, so I'm going to go ahead and play the mech. We're going to hold off Banishing Light for something bigger. Blood Artists, we might actually have to Banishing Light the Blood Artist. So far, we have Reach. Hopefully, we can draw another planes. I definitely messed this one up by clicking on the keeping. It's my bad. Okay. So what is our opponent doing? They are thinking currently. Alright, so they went and played Light of the Stage. I guess they decided they didn't want to waste the attack. I don't know why. I guess attacking with the Pyromancer would have given the ability to do automatic damage with the Blood Artist. So I'm a little confused there. They're still thinking. They got a land and a spike. So they're just going to do some damage to us, trying to burn us as quickly as possible. Alright, so we did not get our source. So we are definitely going to Curious Obsession on our Mech Godzilla. And then we're going to go ahead and go attacking. So we have Sphinx's Rev. We'll be able to gain some life, which won't be a problem. Alright, so we have Menace, so they have to block with both their creatures guaranteed. Hopefully we can pull off Vigilance soon. Okay, so yeah, next to blockers, sorry about that. Next to damage, alright, so we're going to hit them for 4, and we're going to go ahead and draw a card. Be nice to see a planes. Going to take action, yes. Alright, planes, perfect. So now we can hold up planes for next turn, and we can Angel of Sanctions, Blood Artist, and then hold off the Banishing Light for later. The reason I want to get rid of the Blood Artist is just because it's going to do extra damage. In case they feel like blocking later on, it's going to be a problem. So yeah, we're going to just pass the blockers. We're just going to take it. I don't want to play Sphinx's Rev, so Ember Cleave is a problem. And can this deal with creatures or does permanent exile and target non-land permanent an opponent controls? Yes. We're going to have to deal with that Cleaver, because taking 6 right now is a big problem. And we're going to have to attack with a Mech Godzilla. Wait a minute. So, interest battlefield, tap target creature opponent controls. Okay, so first going to go ahead and hit the planes. Angel of Sanctions. I'm just going to play Angel of Sanctions and then get rid of the Ember Cleave. Honestly, that's probably my best bet. Yeah, we're taking that action, definitely. We get rid of the Ember Cleave. We're going to be minimizing the amount of damage we can take, and then we got a trample counter. Okay. So all attack, we have to attack or else we lose the Curious Obsession, which I'd like to keep that. We're not going to take a bunch of damage, really. So the next turn, we're going to play out the planes, and we're going to tap down the Pyromancer unless a bigger threat comes through. So Torben is definitely a bigger threat. Issue is that's going to do 4 damage. They would get this back, so unfortunately we're just going to take it. We're going to have to exile Torben. And I might actually have to lose out in the Curious Obsession. I don't want to, but I can minimize their threats, because now we can Banish Light Torben. We are down to 4, which is a problem, because if they have a single burn spell, If the creature dies, so yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and hit him with the Met Godzilla. Try to draw up the counter. And we have lifelink. Okay, that was perfect. Now hold back. Choosing attackers. So our opponent. Alright, they're scooped. They didn't have the removal. It's amazing. Alright, that lifelink was just enough to get us out of the way of trouble. Like what you're watching so far, we'd appreciate if you hit that subscribe button and then go ahead and hit that bell so you can get a notification every time we upload new videos and be the first to see. Go and hit that like button. We really do appreciate it. And if you could support us over at Patreon, that would be amazing. Check us out over on Facebook at the Cryptic Commander. And then check out our podcast, anywhere you listen to podcasts, the Cryptic Commander podcast. It's easy on the ears podcast about something we all love, Magic the Gathering. And then go ahead and check out our subsidiary group over at the Magic the Gathering player group. Anything about Magic the Gathering you're interested in, they're going to have. All right, we're going on to the next game. Here's what we're going to run into. Yep, we're ready. All right, still waiting. We're ready. Alrighty. All right, still waiting. We're ready. So let's see, this opening hand has way too many blue sources. I am not going to make the same mistake as last time. I'm definitely mulliganing this. Okay, with this, I'm actually going to put Scarab God on the bottom. It might have been a bad choice to put him in. So we're going to keep this Scarab God. Unfortunately, I would love to keep it in the hand. If this are starting 7, then yes, I could keep it. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and start off with the white source, hoping somehow that makes it so we can draw a white source sooner. All right, so we're playing against another red deck. Don't know if it's going to be Rakdos or not. All right, we're going to pass. We don't want to sacrifice that quite yet. And then next turn, we're definitely going to be able to bounce something. Might go card draw, but I think bouncing something is just easiest, honestly. We're going to pass to attackers, no blocks. We're going to pass the damage. We're going to take the damage and take our turn. Unless they got something else. Our opponent's leave. Oh, that's cool. Lucas leaves. Alright, so they're going to hit us for some damage. We're definitely not going to bounce the Shino Pyromancer. So yeah, our turn. Alright, so actually, that's some card advantage. This does have a body that we can get back later on. And then we also have Exclusion Mage to bounce the Get You Lava Runner, which I think that's going to be the best bet. Since they haven't played their instants and sorceries, we're going to be able to get around the Pyromancer for now by killing it with Exclusion Mage, and then we're going to go to attacking, hit him for 2 in the air, and next turn we're probably going to we're going to play one of these two. I would like to get the Champion of Wits down to the simple fact that it would give us some card draw, and then it would also be later on for Eternalizing. It is a good chump blocker, but also we got our Exclusion Mage to chump block. So I have no problem trading here. Next turn, yeah, probably going to play Champion. Unfortunately, though, we don't have a lot to discard. Seer the Critics, yeah, that resolve. That actually, you know what? Since it's going to die anyway, we're going to get rid of your 1 card in the graveyard. Alright, I'm liking what I'm seeing. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and play the Hanged Executioner. It has 2 bodies coming out, and we have a way to deal with a threat. Curious Obsession is going to definitely go on the token. Okay, so it got rid of our threat. A way to deal with the threat. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and put Curious Obsession on that token, and then go swinging. No blocks. Actually, I might have to play the Champion of Wits now that I think about it. Oh, so we have a way to deal with it. So we can Swift Response, the tapped creature, and then Curious Obsession or token, and then go ahead and go swinging, hit him to 16 and draw some cards. We're definitely taking that action. Alright, Basri. We unfortunately do not have a second white source. So I'm probably going to have to Champion of Wits next turn. That Phoenix is a problem. If we can draw... So we have another... So yeah, we have to champion to try to get into another land, I guess. Okay, we're going to take the action. Okay, so we're going to... we have to discard 2 cards. I don't want to discard Basri, and I definitely can't discard this, but I kind of need the land. So yeah, we're going to go ahead... So in this situation, we're going to lose out on our extra card draw. Basri gives us a way to make things bigger. Angel of Sanctions can deal with the Phoenix, which is going to be a reoccurring issue. There's always more land, but I would need the land now. So I need the land now. I have the land now. Basri Cut makes things bigger, can give us tokens, but honestly, I think that's what I got to do. So that I can play Angel of Sanctions. This did have an Embalm, but it came out later. This is just, so whenever it deals combat damage to a player, we're going to lose the Curious Obsession anyway. Because if we attack, we block, no attacks. Unfortunately, we lose it. So next turn, we'll play the land. We'll Angel of Sanctions out to the Phoenix. I really hate what I had to do there, but yeah, we got to block to absorb as much damage right now as possible. Okay, so we were going to draw a land. Great. Okay, so didn't know that. Had to work with the information that was provided. So yeah, we're definitely going to exile. We're going to take that action, exile that away, and then we're going to go ahead and hit him with the champion. Get him down to 14, and now we have a threat in the air, and as long as they don't have, I think, like a lava coil, we're fine. Or they have to spend 2 burn spells, essentially, to deal with Angel Sanctions. There might be a Soul Seer. Okay, that will do it, yeah. That'll do it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're 1 land away from getting that off, unfortunately. So actually, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and attack with Champion, or do I hold back Champion? Because they could have haste. Yeah, no attacks. This is not looking advantageous. Well, that really sucks. Alrighty. Well, that was definitely a problem. Play out our 3-2. Wait a minute. Oh, 6. I misread that. That is wonderful. It's embalming. It's a 3-4, but yeah, we got to deal with that Phoenix now. Because now we can block, chump block. Well, I guess just blocking Chain Whirler. Chain Whirler dies. That's definitely not chump blocking. And we have Arrow Responder we can play next turn. And then, okay, so Hazoret is definitely an issue. The fact that it's haste. We're going to have to take the Hazoret damage, essentially. I can't lose the Angel of Sanction, so we're not going to be able to block that. Which I hate to say. And this being indestructible, or is, yeah, indestructible. That is a problem. And a half. Alright, so we're going to have to go ahead and play out our cards. Going to have to use the Spirit to just chump block, but essentially we can deal 2 damage to each opponent, so we just might have lost this one. Don't know if we can come back from that. Yeah, let's go ahead and just hit them in the air. I'm going to have to double block because I can't let them... So this is 1 or fewer cards in hand, so they have to play out what's ever in their hand. Unfortunately, they can just pretty much jam us up. Okay, yeah, that's GG's. That's GG's, definitely. And I'm just going to no blocks, we're going to take it. Okay. So that time around, our opponent just had a nutso mono red hand. Had the removal they needed when they needed it. and we weren't able to do much about that. I don't think our deck is the problem. What I will say is I don't think we need Scarab God. I did make kind of a bad play with why can't I remember the card that can come back and it can draw you cards. Anyway, there was that bad play where discarding Basriket might have been an issue. Because if it did not discard Basriket, we would be able to put the tokens on, but we also didn't know we were going to draw a land next turn. It would have probably been better just to hold off on that card, and then so we can keep our... Yeah, I probably should have just held off, and that would have been the smartest move. Talking rambling nonsense, it feels like. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and keep this, since we have 2 cards that we can play on 2. Protect our creature, play this on 3. Realistically, we're not going to want to play this for 2. It would be nice. Okay, so that's not a land, but that is a good card to hold on to. We're already going to put that on top. We're going to go ahead and play the Plains, and then the Remorseful Cleric. As much as I would hope that the next card is a land, I really do hope that. If not, we're going to have to play this. I don't want to play this as a 1-1. Go ahead and pass. Alright, having Dive Down is good. And then, alright, so they're trying to draw some cards. So realistically, they're a little more of a control deck. So we're just going to pass the turn, because we're not trying to self-sacrifice. Alright, fantastic. I like what I'm seeing. So we're going to go ahead and play Aerial Responder. We're going to hit him in the air. Alright, so we're going to start gaining some life next turn, and then I'm definitely going to play the Mechagodzilla. If I can draw another land, though, I would like to play Mongara the Diplomat, or Mongara. It's unfortunate. So can we hit ourselves, exile cards from target player? So we can't hit ourselves. It sounds weird, but if there's any way to make things bigger, then that would be an issue for us. They're definitely more of a controlling route, since they're milling, they're focusing on the ominous's, and they have a way to give something... The Shadow Spear throws me off a little bit, but this is draft, so you are going to need some creatures. But they're definitely a controller. So Spark Double, that's interesting to see. Those two definitely combo off together. Losing out on a creature wasn't good. I'm fine with losing the land. Alright, so the land. So yeah, we're definitely going to go ahead and play this out. And then we're going to fall on a swinging. So right now it feels like life doesn't really matter in this matchup. But I want to try to get as much card draw as possible, essentially, since they are hoping on the card draw. They're banking on it. So they can, so it's what, they play 2 spells? Well, that's not good. That is a bit of a problem. Previously, they bounced the tutor. Oh, they didn't bounce anything. Okay. Interesting. So yeah, let's go ahead and get the Mechagodzilla out, and then go ahead full on swing at them. So in case they have some shenanigans, we definitely have Dive Down. Unfortunately, they are going to be drawing a bunch of cards, but we have lethal presented right now. So no matter what they mill, and as long as they don't have a board wipe, we are fine. Alright, so they went God Control, essentially. Because yeah, they're facing lethal, they had no way to deal with it. Just GG's. Alright, victory for us. Got up to 26 before that one. Alright, on to the next one. So far, we've really only struggled with straight up aggro, which was mono red. Which I was kind of surprised to see a mono colored deck. I don't know why. I just feel like in draft, usually you want to have 2 colors, one to support the other, but if you can pull off a mono colored deck, you got it. we'd appreciate it. All of y'all listening from at home or on the go, wherever. If you want to go ahead and check us out over at the Cryptic Commander podcast or anywhere where you listen to your podcast, that would be amazing. If you like what we're doing, we appreciate it. Subscribe. Then go ahead and hit that bell so you get a notification every time we upload new videos and be the first to see it. And then go ahead and hit that like button. We truly would appreciate it. And then go ahead and comment down below what kind of future videos you'd like to see. It would be amazing if you can go check out our subsidiary group, the Magic the Gathering player group. And then here on Patreon to help support the YouTube channel and help us grow. That would be amazing, and we would truly appreciate all the love and support you all provide for us. Alright, so we're currently waiting our opponent to resolve, or to say it's okay for us to scry. Okay, so Dungeon Geist, that's quite a ways away. We already have a lot of creatures. There's some action going on. And seeing that they're black, they're definitely going to have removal. So I'm going to put that at the bottom because I need some lands. Because next turn, we're definitely going to go... So either going to go Terramander or we're going to go the Monster Cleric. I think we go Cleric for the simple fact that would give us more damage in the long run. It's unfortunate they do have Reach. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and play out the Cleric and hoping they can't buff this. Since they have Reach there, it's a bit of a problem. We could always use the Dive Down in a way to try to save our Cleric. The problem is if they can play a non-human creature and pump this, then we're in trouble. We do have a way to deal with Banishing Light. It's kind of funny because normally Reach is having solutions in the air is a problem for green, but he just got Murderous Ridden, so that happens. I guess we could have sacked it, gotten rid of there once upon a time. We're definitely gonna have to. We're taking it too. We don't have much to say about that. If we don't draw lands next turn, and the next we need to draw 3 lands essentially, so we'll be fine. So hopefully, weirdly enough, as much as I don't want to say this, we need 3 lands in a row. And if we don't draw our 3 lands in a row, we might be in trouble. The reason I'm saying this is we have Lyra Dawnbreaker. The fact that it is flying, First Strike, and Lifelink, it's huge. Kind of neat her. Alright, so there's lane number 1. We can go ahead and get this down, because if we can hang the Executioner, the Preserver, we will be fine. We need another land. We also do have Banishing Light. So next turn, if we don't draw the land, I'm going to have to Banishing Light this. As much as I don't want to, I need to, since most of our cards are flying and up in the air. It's a problem. We can't deal with it. It probably should hold it off to deal with a bigger creature. But the fact that we can't get any damage in is really stopping our game plan. And alright, so they played another creature. They don't have the mana. Alright, so that is a big problem, the fact that they have this big old creature coming down. My bad, I am sorry about that. So they got the big creature coming down essentially next turn. They weren't able to buff this up. We're going to have to deal with that Verdurous Gearhold with Banishing Light, so we have to play super defensive. This doesn't have Reach. An additional land each of your turn. Okay. So there was the land. As much as I want to deal with this, I'm going to actually have to hold off Hanged Executioner. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and we're going to have Banishing Light. Even though we know this is coming down next turn, we have our Hanged Executioner to deal with it. We go ahead and exile that. I want to hold up the Dive Down, but I think just getting in Terramander is probably beneficial. Because we have another removal spell, essentially, I think we'll be fine. We're going to get them in for 2. If we can draw another land, we got Lyra, and that would be amazing. we can't draw another land. We at least got the Diplomat, so we can start drawing some cards. Alright, so that resolves, and we're all attacking. The main reason why I did this is because we have to be able to hit our opponent to win. If they just kept the Preserver out there, they would be able to put a bunch of tokens on it over time. And the fact that it's the biggest threat currently. We know for a fact we got an even bigger threat in the Gearhulk coming down, but the fact that it has reach was going to stop our entire game plan of just beating in the air. So we'll have Summoning Sickness. They could make the Oracle big, especially that they see that there's the Hanged Executioner, so it would be smart for them to split up the tokens. That's another big creature coming down. That has reach as well, doesn't it? Nope, that has reach. And it will be a 6/6 because it has power and toughness equal to the lands. And if I remember correctly, when it enters the battlefield, we can search for another land. I don't remember if it goes in the hand or on the battlefield, but that is a bit of a problem. So they're distributing them evenly, which kind of surprises me. That is what I said to do, but I am kind of surprised at the same time. So we're going to have to take it. It says trample, not reach. So I don't know what they could have up unless they're hoping for a fatal push kill by me blocking, losing a creature, and then fatal pushing the Hanged Executioner. But essentially what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to go full on attacking, and then I'm going to have to sack it and deal with the Gearhulk for now, since this is the threat. A big problem is this, so part of me, this does have trample, it is a 6/6 with trample. Part of me wants to save the Executioner for the Uvenwald Hydra. The issue is that'd be 2 threats. So we can hit them for 3, and then sack. I don't know if we can pull this one off. Alright, so there's Spear of God, so now we're going to see, we're going to have to go full on swing and then deal with the Verdurous Gearhulk. So full on swinging. Fortunately, this is what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I guess I could have read it and said it. Didn't really have to go up counting. Alright, so next damage, we're going to hit him down to 13. And then we're going to go ahead and sacrifice the Executioner to deal with the Gearhulk. Or do we wait and hold off the Uvenwald? So we do have Mangara. Yeah, Mangara. Our opponent's still thinking of what to do. They are out of timeout, so this could... Alright, so clicked it, and then we're going to have to... Yeah, just got to deal with it. Target creature. Unless they have like Blossoming Defense or the Rogue... I can't remember what it's called, but there's another 1-drop that can give Hexproof. But we already did target it. We were targeting it. They can still on the stack give it Hexproof, but are they going to do that? So our biggest issue and our biggest concern is the fact that Uvenwald Hydra is coming down, but it does give us another turn to deal with it since it has haste. If we can get out Lyra, I don't think it will be a problem. The fact that we can start gaining some life, we can jump block it with Terramander and her token. We are going to definitely take 4 this turn, is we can draw a land, and that land being a swamp, or just any land in general. Swamp would be amazing to be able to pull down the Scarab God and then just start taking creatures. Realistically, our opponent plays a land, they play out the Uvenwald Hydra, and then after they play out the Uvenwald Hydra, you're going to search for another land making it even bigger. So that's an 8/8 we got to deal with, which is a problem. I don't think we can come back from this. Okay, so it was not swamp, but we do have our first striker, lifelink. We're going to have to just straight up chump block this. We got to chump block this. We'll be able to deal with that, so we're only going to hit him for 1. And Scarab God creates a 4/4 copy, and that could get even bigger. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and hold off the Pteramander, and we're going to go ahead and just send in the Spirit. Oh wait, this has reach. I completely and obliviously forgot that has reach. I feel idiotic right now. That was my bad. And they just trophied that. Take that action. We're going to go ahead and grab our swamp. Unfortunately. So I think our opponent got this because we have to chump block here. We don't have the mana to... Yeah, that's okay. That's GG's. Alright, yep, they got us. We had the removal that was necessary, and they just had the bigger creatures. Okay, so the Scarab God has definitely got to go. It's made some funky mana, and it's made an issue. Also, a problem is we don't have enough removal. So you got to go back to the grindstone. Got to rework this deck. As much as I want to keep the Scarab God because it is an amazing card and it can essentially win the game on its own, it's just not helping us. It's hurting us. So I know I'm going to pull it. I'm going to take out the 2 lands. What am I putting in its place? Do we have any more removal? We can give things indestructible, which would be useful. Pact of Negation is something we could play. It is another counter. So you either ready with Pact, or we go with the Benelish Marshal, which I said that would be the best bet early on. You could also go with Formation, because creatures you control, that gives us board weight protection. But for now... Alright, so we gotta cut the Scarab God, and we'll cut our 2 swamps. Figure out what we add later, but for now we have to play another card. So, Pact of Negation could be huge. The problem is Pact could lose us the game. But essentially it's another removal spell. And when we dealt with the Uvenwald, we only had... No, we didn't... We drew into our 5th land when we had the Uvenwald. So that would not be beneficial for us to play the Pact the way the last game went. But every game is different. Birth of Meliodas does provide us a blocker, a little bit of life gain, and Searching Plains. Sky March, the small creature. The Advanto Vanguard. There is Seasoned Hollowblade, which can provide indestructible in those situations. But the big beefy creatures, unfortunately we don't have the removal that I would like to have. Throne is good to be able to do a little extra damage for aggro. But honestly, I think it's just Pact. I think we gotta go Pact. Yep, gotta go Pact. And we'll go ahead. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and cut up Plains, and we're gonna try it out this way. I hope we can get a few more wins. We are ready. Can we get another win in? Alright, we're waiting. If you liked what you're watching so far, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We would really appreciate it. If you want to go ahead and hit that bell so you can get a notification every time we upload new videos, that would be amazing. And then if you hit that like button, that would be awesome. Go ahead and comment down below about what kind of content you'd like to see in the future. That'd be amazing if you could go over and check us out on Patreon, and all support would be lovely. And then if you want to check out our Cryptic Commander podcast, it's a podcast about all things Magic the Gathering, and it's an easy listen on the ears. Go ahead and check us out over a subsidiary group at the Magic the Gathering player group. That would be amazing, and they would truly appreciate it. All right, we're still in the waiting process. All right, so we're finally jumping into the game. So we're going first. We have lands to play things out. Unfortunately, we don't have a creature. Hopefully we can draw into that creature, but I'm going to keep it this because we can play Bassery and we got Banishing Light. So we're going to go ahead and play out. We'll just play a Plains. Next turn we'll probably play the Island, or we'll just play a Plains to hide information. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and play the Island. And yeah, we'll play another little creature. And we'll play our creature. So we got our creature out, and we can Bassery Cat and put a token on up to one target creature. So since we know we're going to probably sacrifice this later on, yeah, essentially figured that was going to happen. So we're going to play our land, and then we're going to go ahead and Bassery Cat the token. Since we do have Curious Obsession, we also have a way. This can't attack or block unless you control another creature with Power 4 greater. That is fantastic for us. So we are going to, if we can tap our lands, we're going to tap all 3 plains. We're going to play Bassery Cat. We're going to play Bassery Cat. We're going to go ahead and put a counter on this, give it indestructible. Then we're going to Curious Obsession it. So we can go ahead and hit them for 3 and draw some cards. Because if we could draw into another land eventually, that would be amazing. This has Trample here real quick. No, Death Touch. Okay. Yeah, alright. So that's something we can definitely be useful. Probably going to have to exile this Ronus, but for now it's not a problem. For now it's just 2 that we're going to be taking. Because it's not a cumulative power, it is... Okay, then. I didn't see that coming. That is a problem and a half. So, yeah. Uranus isn't a problem right now. It's going to be a problem. This does not have Flash. So, let's go ahead and go to combat. Let's see what we draw. A land. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and play out our land and then just play out our Lyra. Because now we have Banishing Light to deal with the Ronus. Still, we did have that last turn, but I just wanted to see what we drew, essentially. And our opponent has a lot of mana they're tapping. Not be good if they had one more land. And okay. And then you have a Shock? Pillar of Flame. Okay. Yeah, it is gone. We are not doing well. Okay, so we're going to put Mangara out there. Going to go ahead and hit them for 3. Alright, so now we hit them for 3. We're going to go ahead and draw a card, and we're going to hold up the Dive Down. Yeah, we're going to hold up the Dive Down. I learned a lesson from last turn, but they did waste a lot. But this does have Flashback. Yeah, which is a problem. Those 4 damage target. Okay, so yeah. Very glad we held that up. They have a second. Nope, they said it's enough. The Flyers, they couldn't deal with it. So that was definitely an interesting game. I'm glad I made the right call by holding back a white source. I mean, I could have played another creature, but it would not have been beneficial. Oh, that feels good. Alright, so we're claiming them prizes. Alright, hopefully we can keep going with them victories. I definitely feel like pulling out Scarab God was a good choice. I normally have no problem when I just splash a single card, but when we dealt with that green deck, that Golgari deck, that was a problem. In fact, they just had too many big creatures and too many big threats. It's just too late by the time Scarab God is going to come down. And I think early on when we played against that mono red, we ended up putting Scarab God at the bottom, which if we mulligan, we would have put any card at the bottom. So we did bring in Pact for Scarab, which is concerning how high everything is in our hand. We can eventually draw. If we draw into another land, we're fine. The issue is where you need so much going on. So we need a white source and a blue source, so I might have made a mistake by keeping this. But as long as we can draw into more lands, I think we're fine. It'd be nice to see. I guess, yeah, we have to draw into a white source and we have to draw into a blue source to make this hand viable. So find out if it was a mistake or not. Alright, so next turn lands. So we need to draw 2 lands. Hopefully we can get a plane. So we did not draw a land. Okay, so we might actually have to cycle that, unfortunately. I would hate to lose the game this way. Alright, our opponent is on Boros. Lighten up that stage. That resolves. They have 2 lands, which is not a problem for us. Okay, so not a land. Alrighty. So, yeah, just going to have to cycle this, as much as I don't want to try to pull out a land. Not a land. We're going to have to discard. Yep, got to discard. That hurts on many levels. Guess I should have mulliganed. Captivating the crew. It's a painful way to go out. The fact they can gain control, we're just going to have to banish that. I don't really want to get hit with my own creatures over and over again. So next turn, we're going to play their Splendid Angel. And that sucks. We don't have the 5 mana. So yeah, we're just kind of have to take that, fortunately. And that's essentially game right there. Drew into another land. I mean, we can... So this is going to deal an extra 2 damage. We can Dungeon Geist the Captivating Crew. The problem is the fact that they are going to be able to... They can activate its ability and gain control of their stuff. And that's a problem. So we can't Angel of Sanctions, but yeah, essentially this turn, I just want to tap their stuff down to take as little damage as possible. This will be dealing 4 damage, so we're going to have to take the 4 damage. They can activate the Captivating Crew, so we'll be taking 7, which would be very painful. Angel of Sanctions, hopefully we can get Angel of Sanctions down next turn. That is a problem. The fact that each of those 1/1s are going to deal 3 damage. And so that's what, 3, that's just a lot of damage coming in our face. 3, 6, that's 10. We're dead next turn. Wow, that hurts. Essentially, what they can do is tap that down, and I think we just lost the game. I mean, wait a minute. So it is a non-land permanent, so we can... I don't know. Yeah. Take out Torben. That stops him from doing a bunch of extra damage. And then we're going to have to attack Ashiok. I mean, not Ash. Why am I saying Chandra? We have to attack Chandra. The reason being is we need to deal with it as a threat. We also do have Pact. If there's any really big burn spell, essentially, that can remove our Angel of Sanctions, we're just going to have to Pact and take a whole turn off on that. That's what we expected to happen. Realistically, they're going to tap down the Angel. Yeah, and then they're going to just hit us with that. Nothing we can do about it. Okay. So, yeah, we're definitely going to do this. We play that out. But actually, if we gained 5 or more life, probably what would be smart is, since we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we can pull off 2 creatures. So I definitely think that's what I got to do. So, or not 2 creatures. Okay. So, oh, I did not see that. Okay, so yeah. Cancel, we'll pull this off. You need to look at your mana sources. Or at least I do. Play Hanged Executioner. Get the token out. And go ahead and pump up the jams, or whenever 1 or more non-token creatures you attack this turn, create that many tapped and attacking. Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and do that. So we're going to go ahead and hit them. So we're going to attack here. We're going to go ahead and do that. And then the 2 attacking tokens are going to send... So we're going to attack. And then we're going to go ahead and hit them in the face. So we're taking care of Chandra. And we got them down to 13, and we have 2 blockers. With Hanged Executioner, we're probably going to have to sack it to deal with the Captivating Crew. Yeah. They do have... They're 1 mana short of pulling off the Hanged Executioner. Okay, so that's not a problem. At least I don't think it is. Yeah, it's not a problem right now. Don't want to pact that, since I definitely want to use the Hanged Executioner to exile this, just to deal with the threat. The problem is they're coming through. Basri's already down for the count. Can't do much about that, so no blocks. Bye-bye Basri. It is unfortunate, but it happens. Okay, so another land. And I'm going to go ahead and go swinging. Yeah, so next we're going to first all-out attack. Wait, do I all-out attack? No, I got to hold back 3 creatures. Because we are not in a good spot. What am I doing? So actually, do I hold off 4 creatures? No, hold back the 3 creatures, hit them for 7. And then next damage. And then we're going to go ahead and exile this. So we're going to tap down 1, 2, 3, 4, and activate this. And we're getting rid of the Captivating Crew. Reason is they can just start taking our stuff. Surprised they haven't been doing that more. We do have a problem with Grim Lavamancer, but that's... I'll deal with it as that comes. We're going to go ahead and play our Resplendent Angel. I guess we could have sent 1 more out, but I definitely wanted to guarantee that we could at least have a creature up to kill their stuff. So the most they can do is a little bit of damage, because it's exile 2 cards from your graveyard. They have 3 cards, so they can do 2 damage right now. So what they could have done is they could have blown up something, tapped something else down, but now essentially they're going to have to play it super defensive. That is game next turn. So I'm just going to call it GG's, because we swing with everything. I guess I could hold back both of these to try to be smart, just in case something happens. But just attacking with these, both of those, we just win. And we have Sphinx's Rev to gain some life. Alright. They're gaining some life. It's not a big problem, because we can gain some life ourselves. And it's we gain 5 or more life, since I need 3, and we're 1 mana short of gaining the 5 life. So yeah, let's go ahead and just Champion of Wits. You're going to draw up some cards. We'll go ahead and put down... Actually, that has lifelink. This would be a pretty useful card. Dive Down is useful, so Mech Godzilla. We're going to keep Dive Down. This is going to gain us some life, but that can make creatures bigger. Sphinx's Rev also can gain us some life and draw some cards. So I'm going to definitely put Mech, and as much as I don't want to, I think that's just the... Oh, did I click 3? I don't want to get rid of Madara. So we'll get down, so the Diplomat can gain us some life. We also can just straight up activate their Splendid Angel. In fact, if they are facing down lethal once more, is very beneficial for us. Okay. So are we waiting, or did we freeze up? I guess we're waiting on the opponent, or did we freeze up? It looks like we're frozen. That's not good. That is not good. Hopefully we don't lose out on a timeout. Because, yeah. Anyways, during this freeze, we would hope that you all hit that subscribe. We'd really appreciate it. Go and hit that bell so you can get a notification every time we upload new videos. Like it if you can hit that like button. And then go ahead... Ooh, that needs to get packed. Go ahead and comment down below about what kind of content you'd like to see in the future. Alright. So glad we had extra timeouts, but yeah, we have to pack that. And then go ahead and check us out over at the Cryptic Commander podcast. Anywhere we listen to your podcast, it's the easy listen on the ears. All about our favorite game, Magic the Gathering, or at least my favorite game. Alright, so we got that win. We were able to pull that off. Alrighty. Waiting on the game still, unfortunately. There we go. We got our victory. Going into the next one. So yeah, that bringing in the pact was a smart choice. Definitely is a better call than keeping the Scarab God. I guess I'm not sure why I wasn't playing it originally. Alright, we're back. Waiting on the server. Is there something wrong? Alright, so we're going to go ahead and claim them prizes. And go on to the next one. Let's see how we do this time around. We've gotten in some games. We have gotten 2 losses, but we've also gotten a few wins in. This Flyers deck is treating us well. We're able to soar over the competition. Alright, so we do have 3 lands. We can't really use them. We can play the mech, and we have Dive Down, but the fact that we have 2 double white cards makes it impossible to keep that hand. I think I'm fine with this. Unfortunately, I don't know what to put back. Staggering Insight gives something lifelink and +1/+1, also card draw. Both of these are card draw, but this is not card draw attacking dependent. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and put Curious Obsession back at the bottom, because for the simple fact that we can choose to hold back if we need to. Hopefully we can get a land soon, so we can get the Hanged Executioner down, and then we'll put the Staggering Insight on the token. Or actually, yeah, hopefully we get a land. So we got Mech Godzilla. I would love to get Mech Godzilla down next turn, and then we'll put the Staggering Insight on that. Opponent's running. We're facing against another red deck. So this is a mono red deck, or is this a red X? I'm curious. Did we freeze, or our opponent just thinking? Let's figure out what's going on. It looks like our opponent's thinking. Alright, so they put down the Grim Lavamancer. They're playing another land. That's probably would be best. And then, okay, so Robbie is coming to town. So we're definitely going to be taking 3, which is unfortunate. Did not draw a land, and that is not good. So that means next turn they're going to start stealing stuff. So we need a land. This hand looked keepable, but it is not beneficial right now. So yeah, our opponent's going to hit us for 3. They're going to steal something. So they took the land we needed. Alrighty. Hopefully another land was right on top. Yes, another land. Okay, so we're able to play out 2 cards. We can get our Mech Godzilla down. It would be a... I'm not sure what counter would be beneficial at this point. I guess Vigilance would be the best to get, but I'm curious. Okay, so we got a +1/+1 counter. Okay. So now Staggering Insight looks a whole lot better, having a 5/5 that can do some damage. Torben's going to have to get banished. That is not good, so no blocks. Going to have to banish Torben. So the beginning of combat, what did we get? So we got a Menace counter. Unfortunately, they can attack. If we attack, then we lose out on our mech and then Staggering Insight. So we're going to have to go no attacking, and we have to play it defensively. We do have a 4/4. We got rid of their Torben, which makes it so everything's smaller. That is a problem, but we can't pact. Unfortunately, we cannot pact. That 4/4 comes down as a huge issue. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and Staggering Insight and hope we can pull off Vigilance. So we got Death Touch. Menace, Lifelink, and Death Touch. It's not worth it, though. We're going to have to take the 4, because if we go swinging, then we know they're going to be able to Robbie us. So no attacks. It's very unfortunate. When they have the 4/4, they're going to probably turn Sarkin into a 4/4, hit us for 8, which is a big problem. So yeah, they're swinging in for 8, at least. So that is not good either. Aerial Responder is going to hurt us, but we're at least going to be able to gain 5 life. And this is whenever it deals combat damage to a player. Yeah, draw a card. In fact, they can pull off another flyer. Sarkin is just going to be doing so. Our best bet, realistically, is we kind of have to get another white source to deal with Sarkin. But the problem is that they just got this dragon. That's a threat. So we didn't get our white source. We have to deal with Sarkin. There is the... So I think that's just GG's. But I'm going to go for it anyway to try to see what happens. So we're going to go next to combat. So what do we gain? We gain reach, which kind of changes things, I guess. But yeah, we're going to all attack. We're going to go ahead and hit Sarkin. Down for the count. We will gain 5 life, go up 9, which now that I realize it, we're dealing with exactly lethal. So go ahead. If we play, okay, so I need to be able to stop the air. So we go ahead and play that out. We have an extra token. They can steal something, but do they get to untap it? It gains haste. Yeah, they get to untap that creature, gains haste. So that is a problem. The fact that they can untap Mech Godzilla. We just need some blockers. I'm going to have to exile the Captivating Crew. We can chump block the dragon. But I think this is lethal, essentially. You chump block 2 sources. I number of cards from your hand on the bottom of your graveyard, draw that many cards. That just resolves. Like another counter. That has Vigi now, which is good for us, but it hurts. So we have to block. I don't like doing this, but we kind of have to because our only way of dealing with... Wait. It has Menace. Great, okay. So we're going to have to just block here and block here. I completely forgot I had Menace. So we're taking 6. They are gaining some life. We're going to be able to gain some life. Okay, so the Marauder. Player Marauder or this card. The issue is able to take more. So first, next to a combat, we're going to all attack. We're going to have to gain some life. Unfortunately, they can steal it again. So that was perfect. Okay, so we're able to play out our Angel. I'm going to get rid of the Captivating Crew. Taking that action, 100. We're staying alive. So we're able to block... The Angel Synchron is able to block the Gitu. The Mech Godzilla is able to block the Dragon. And if they play any removal spell on the Angel or Mech, we're able to Pact. And then we have our Warkite Marauder and Mangara, the Diplomat. So what would be nice... Okay, so they are attacking. So I have to block it. I have to. Any kind of shenanigans, I got a Pact for them. So yeah, shenanigans, I got a Pact. And I gotta hope they don't have another removal spell in hand. If we got another burn spell, then that kind of hurts. Alright, so that resolves. They do have a way to do this for 2. Okay, cool. As long as they don't have a spike or a shock or any kind of burn spell, we're fine. We have a bunch of creatures and we're going to have to pay for the Pact. So yeah, we're just going to auto pay that. For 1 creature. So, X to combat, which... Alright, so we're going to have to go in swinging, draw our card that has Vigi, so that's good for us. Play out our second land, and then essentially just need a blocker. Here, we'll even things back out. Keeping the staggering insight was huge. It's really brought us back. So they can draw a card, which is not a huge concern right now, but it is if they have a burn spell. Because we're able to block things up. So if it is a burn spell, we're just taking the 4, though. Yeah, we're taking 4. Okay, so this is a spell. It's not an ability. Right, so they did have the 2 damage. They were going to be able to deal with it. Fanatical Firebrand is what they drew. So they can play the monkey. That is unfortunate, but things happen. Another land. So I guess essentially next to combat, all out attack. Yeah, all out attack, and I can play both. Okay, so that's GG's. Alright, so the life gain got ahead of him. Alright, so we're on to the next game. So we're claiming them prizes, getting the XP. Got a pack even. Alright, The Horse Band Mentor. Alright, on to 5 wins. Let's see if we can get the 6th and even the 7th. Again, we do appreciate you checking us out here with the Cryptic Commander. We do appreciate it truly. If you could go and hit that subscribe button, that would be amazing. And then you hit the bell, you'll be able to get a notification every time we upload new videos. If you hit that like, we would truly appreciate it. And go ahead and comment down below about what kind of videos you'd like to see in the future. And if you want to check out our podcast, the Cryptic Commander podcast, go ahead and head over to wherever you listen to your podcasts, and we would truly appreciate that. Go ahead and check us out over at Patreon. That would be amazing. And then check out our subsidiary group on the Magic the Gathering player group. That would be awesome if you could do that as well. We're getting ready to head up against Heavy D62. We do have enough lands. We can play it out. We have to never counter a spell. So yeah, we have our curving right away. This isn't an issue then. I'm going to go ahead and play out our land, then our Paramander, and then Warkite Marauder. So yeah. So next turn, yeah, we'll hit out another land, and then we'll go ahead and Temple of Insight the turn after that. So we're facing against a token deck. It's not a big deal. It is what it is. Alright, so if we block this, which no, I'm just not going to block that and just hold off Swift Response. So I'm going to have to hold off Temple of Insight, go ahead and play the Plains, and Swift Response that before they can get any tokens, any counters. So yeah, there's definitely good that we are able to deal with it now. Unfortunately, that thing has flying, but we can make it small. We attack with everything, so we have all-out attack. That becomes a 0-1, and we'd hit him. So now where we have the mana we need for the Angel, unfortunately, that Grateful Apparition is going to be able to, if it deals combat damage to a player, yeah, that is going to be a problem. Player or Planeswalker. Okay. So we're definitely going to have to deal with that. The only thing is, though, okay, so I don't want to pull this off late. But at the same time, we also have Early Responder. I guess, essentially, scry it up, and then, okay, so yeah, Exclusion Mage, that is amazing. So I'm going to hold the counter spell up. We're going to go next to combat. We're going to full out swing. It doesn't really matter, essentially. So we'll go ahead and get rid of those abilities. And then next to combat, next to blockers, I should say, next to damage, and we'll end it there. And then if we can go ahead and neutralize if they have any threats, but essentially what we can do is we Angel of Sanctions a Proliferator, and then we go ahead and bounce the Scavenging Ooze. So passive attack, unfortunately we gotta take it. Resolve that. So actually you might have to bounce the Scavenging Ooze. Now let that resolve because I felt like there might be a bigger threat afoot. Okay, so that's fine. So yeah, we'll play down the land, and yeah, we're just gonna have to bounce the Scoos. And yeah, next turn then Angel of Sanctions out the Grateful Apparition. So next to combat, gonna have to swing it with Warkite Marauder. Okay, so we're gonna end that turn there. So we're gonna be able to block some creatures. The problem is they have the Dauntless Bodyguard. So they do have Dauntless Bodyguard that can give something indestructible. They also have creatures that can come on down. So they're just essentially playing out their entire hand. I guess I should have countered the Ranger. Okay, so we're going to pass to blockers. We're going to go ahead and block here. Even though we know that they're going to sack the Dauntless Bodyguard for the Ranger, which I'm pretty surprised they're not. That is genuinely surprising to me. We are down by a lot, which is not good. So yeah, we're going to have to grateful that. We're going to have to deal with the Grateful Apparition. And we're going to also have to just straight up be blocking. We can pump this, but we don't have many answers. So we have 1. So it turns this into a 7, which we do not have 7 mana currently. We have to play super defensive. So this does not have Vigilance, so they can put a counter on it to end a turn. So they got their Scavenging Ooze, Paradise Druid. Okay, so you have a bunch of small creatures. Alright, so they're going to Scavenging Ooze our creature, gain some life, put a counter on that. But the problem is they have a wall going on. So next turn, I'm going to have to Aerial Responder. Okay, so be able to do 2 things. So Aerial responds to get Lifelink started, and also be able to get Mech Godzilla out there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're still 1 mana short of this, and unfortunately, realistically, that's going to get taken. That has Hexproof, which is good. So no attacks. There's no creatures in the bin, so we're able to deal with Scavenging Ooze. The problem that we're seeing is we have the Dauntless Bodyguard, so no matter what we do, that Dauntless Bodyguard, okay, that is another problem too. The fact they can start gaining some life, and they have plenty of. They have the mana dorks, and they don't have the mana to deal with it yet. But next turn they could. Okay, so we have an Apparition of our own. So next to combat, what does that get? So that has a Hexproof and a First Strike. But they do have a 4-drop here. I mean, not a 4-drop, 4 toughness. So I'm going to go ahead and actually just swing in with the... Yeah, go ahead and swing in with that. The only thing that can block it is their Resplendent Angel. But I completely forgot. So this is countering a spell. They can... Oh, it puts it on each creature? That is much more of a nuts card than I realized. I think I made a mistake. Yeah, I definitely made a mistake. So there's not a lot I can do there. So you know what? I think that's just game. I misplayed. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I cancel. Yeah, that's just, I'm going to call it. Thank you everyone for watching. I really do appreciate it. I made some mistakes right there. Was able to get off 5 wins, which was pretty good with our Sargus Flyers deck. Just got to read the cards, I guess, going in the future. So anyway, we do appreciate it here with the Cryptic Commander. If you'd go ahead and hit that subscribe, we would truly appreciate it. If you want to go ahead and hit that bell so you can get a notification every time we upload new videos, that would be awesome. Then if you go ahead and hit that like button, we would truly appreciate it. Go ahead and comment down below about what kind of content you'd like to see in the future. And then go ahead and check out our Patreon. That would be amazing. If you'd like to check out our Cryptic Commander podcast, anywhere you listen to your podcast, it's easy on the ears. Podcast all about Magic the Gathering, a game that a lot of us truly enjoy. If you'd want to go ahead and check out our subsidiary group, the Magic the Gathering Player Group, that would be amazing. Anyway, this was Cryptic Commander with Luna, signing off, and you all have a wonderful day. Goodbye.